Okay, so welcome to the Spiritual River Podcast, episode 1 of our new radio show. I've got a new guest on today. His name is Mark. We're going to get a little of Mark's story. Mark, it's nice to have you on.
Thank you, Pat. It's nice to be here.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for doing this. You're sort of the test drive. So how long have you been sober, Mark?
Well, my last drink was, October 26th. 2009. That was my last drink. That was
nice.
In the evening. And,
nice. So you've got several years of sobriety.
Yep. Yeah, coming up on 5, right? So
very
and then
impressive.
October 27th was my first day of sobriety.
Excellent.
Haven't touched a drop since.
So let me ask you this: how many times had you attempted to get sober before you finally were successful at it?
Well, I would say 2 times. One time it lasted about a year, and things happened and went right back to it. And then I went a few more years of drinking, and then I went for 2 years with nothing to drink, and I guess something came up in my life again and went right back to it. Apparently I wasn't ready.
Ah, okay. That's interesting because I tried twice as well. I went to rehab 2 times and I failed both times, and then the third time I finally got it. So it's interesting that that we both got it on the third try kind of thing.
Yeah, three's a charm, right, Pat?
Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
Yep, same thing here.
So let me ask you this. When you were struggling with your alcoholism, did your friends and family try to convince you to quit?
Oh, absolutely. They told me I had a problem. They kept telling me, or slow up at least, and I just let it go in one ear and out the other because I truly didn't think I had a problem. I just thought that I was just enjoying my beer and alcohol, and just like anybody else, my friends and things like that. And I didn't think I was, doing anything wrong. So I was living in denial for, many, many years.
Definitely. It's just same with me.
Yep, it's tough. Or it was tough. It's not tough now.
Right. So do you think that people need to reach this point of complete surrender and give up alcohol, and then some people just don't reach that point? How do you see surrender coming into this?
Well, I mean, for myself, I knew, deep down in my heart that I was doing wrong, but I just couldn't, set it down and say, because I loved it too much. It was like, part of my life, the alcohol, and it got the grips on me, and I knew I had to surrender, but like I said before, I guess I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to give it up and start a new life.
Was there an event that precipitated it, that made you surrender, or did it just happen?
No, to be honest with you, that day, October 26th, in an evening, sitting in my garage drinking, as per usual, because I was always alone, because, my wife didn't want nothing to do with it, so I kind of drank alone. And I wrote an article regarding this, that the voice came into my head and started talking to me, sitting in the dark, in the garage, and things started coming into my head about, what the heck am I doing, and, I'm ruining my life and ruining the lives of people that are in my life, meaning my family and friends and things like that. And something just clicked, and I said, well, this is it. I'm going to, take this last beers or whatever I was drinking, and tomorrow morning will be the start of a new life. Like I say, I wrote that, I think it was called the Quiet Whisper or something I wrote. And that's what changed my life. Some people may not believe that, but it happened, in my mind, and whatever it was, I think, well, I know who it was, the man above, and that changed my life that evening.
Nice. So what do you think are the most important things that someone who just got sober can do to ensure that they stay sober?
Well, positivity would be one. And, regarding to me, staying positive and thinking and knowing that you could stay sober, not just for a short period of time, but long-term sobriety. Staying away from people that you were drinking with, to keep the temptation away. Staying away from bars and places that you would go to, on a regular basis. Just for the temptation and the urge, in which that's what I did. I lost a lot of friends, my drinking buddies, and haven't seen them since, to be honest with you. And that's almost 5 years ago. Because we had everything in common, which was drinking.
Right, right.
So you got staying positive, staying away from temptation that would make you, go back to drinking, and just trying to what's the word? Trying to do good for your life.
Right. Sure. What do you think is the most common reason that people relapse and go back to alcohol? Because you mentioned that you did have a year where you quit and then another 2-year period where you quit. What do you think are the main reasons people go back to drinking?
Well, like those 2 times for myself, things came up in my life, that were not bad, not real bad, but enough to upset me. And I'm thinking, I can fix this, and I'll drink, and maybe this problem will go away, which you and I know now that never happens. But I was just weak. I was weak. The demons still had it over me, and I was too weak to stay strong and not, touch the drink just because something happened that wasn't that great in my life. Right.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Let me ask you this: Do you take any medications to help with your addiction?
No, not a one. Never taken one medicine of any sort.
Okay. Neither do I. In the past, I actually did experiment with a doctor who tried to help me with some medications, and it never worked because I wasn't ready to quit drinking. So
yeah,
currently,
I can understand that.
Yeah, and since I got sober this time and have stayed sober, I haven't used any medications earlier. But do you do any counseling or therapy?
No, none whatsoever. I basically went cold turkey, which a lot of people say that's not a good thing to do. But to be honest with you, I was afraid to go to a doctor, was afraid to go see anybody because of what they might have told me of my health because of such long-term, abusing alcohol. I was scared to death, so I figured even though I know it's probably the wrong thing to do, health-wise, and could be dangerous at some point, I just quit cold turkey.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. So, do you go to AA or attend 12-step meetings at all?
No, never been the one.
That's interesting. I don't do therapy, and I don't go to 12-step meetings either. I don't go to AA. And when I first started in my recovery, I did a little of both of those. But within the first 2 years of my sobriety, I drifted away from both of those things and haven't been back since.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I never attended one, even though many people, you should go to AA, you should do this, you should do this or that, and I said no. I said I have it in my mind. I made a promise on October 26th of 2009 that I would never touch a drink again, and I'm a man of my word, and I certainly wouldn't break a promise to myself. So that's how I keep it. I stay positive, and it's hard sometimes. Many times I had the urge to drink. Over the last year or two, many things happened, that weren't good. And, people passing away and things like that. And right away you think of alcohol and to ease the pain. But then as long as I hold up and start thinking, that drinking for a couple hours is not going to solve anything. I'm not going to feel any better. And then I think to myself, even if I started drinking again, have 1 or 2 drinks, and that leads to, all night long. That leads to drinking continuously again, and then I would be disappointed in myself and have to start all the way back to day one again in my sobriety. Right. And I didn't want to lose all those years of being sober and have to start all over again.
Right. Yep. So what does the future of addiction and recovery look like to you? What do you see going forward?
Well, I see very good things. Everything since I've been sober, each year goes by, everything looking better and better. Things, my family life, my life with my wife has improved 1,000,000%. I just see all good coming in the future.
Nice. Do you think there's any way you could have prevented your alcoholism, and would you even have wanted to, necessarily?
Well, like I wrote about this also a couple of times, and it kind of started as an experiment with the friends, some of the guys didn't like the stuff, and some did, which was me. And then, of course, that experiment turned it into an addiction, unfortunately. No, I don't think I could have prevented it, really. I think that it certainly was a learning experience, even though I was damaging my health and the lives of others. But I learned a lot, and that's why I write, as well as you do, to help others that are going through the same thing. That's your life's not over because you had an addiction. Everything, sober up and move forward. I never think about the past. Just trying to make good for the better, and in the future.
Do you have any role models in recovery that you look up to?
Well, role models, I would say it would be you, Pat. Yep, because your site is what I looked at when I searched on Google for how to get sober, and yours popped up, and you probably remember the comments I left here and there, and it was very interesting. And then we became the buddies, and which I feel fortunate to know you, and then I kind of think that your site, the Spiritual River, kind of saved me, because I thought, I'm the only one that's having this problem, and I wasn't. And I read the comments on that site and by other people, and I'm thinking, boy. And that site, Spiritual River, your site there, what made me start to write, which I appreciate you helping me with that also. I want to write to help others, just like your site helped me.
Well, thank you for that. So you really got sober through the internet.
Yeah, well, that helped me to stay sober. Like how to stop drinking forever and things like that. But like I said earlier, that voice that came in my head on October 26th is the true ticket of why and when I quit drinking. Right.
So that was, the motivation didn't come from the internet. The motivation came from within.
Well, that one night, yeah. But I also, like I said, right after that is when I started, because I'm thinking right away, well, let's see, I failed a couple times. Is this something that's going to be like temporary, and I wanted to research more, and believe me when I tell you, in the very beginning, it was very, very, very hard for me to not touch that drink. And I just kept looking on the internet, and then I started up a blog, and then actually writing helped me, because I knew when I was writing something, hopefully somebody in the world that reads it, it'll help them too. And that also helped me to stay sober. And I still write every day now.
Yeah, writing has been a huge part of my recovery, and even just journaling. If someone with their recovery, they just get the stuff out on paper, type it out, write it down, whatever, and I think that could be make a huge difference.
Yeah, and it's a good feeling to know that, hopefully you're helping somebody. And I get emails on my Gmail from people. I get comments, and people cry their hearts out. I mean, I don't have the answers to everything. I just tell people, what happened to me and how am staying sober, and hopefully they understand and they somewhat follow my, advice. But like I say, I don't know everything. I'm just going by my experiences.
Sure. So let me ask you this. Can you give our listeners any advice if they're struggling with alcoholism right now and they're trying to somehow break free from addiction?
Well, my advice would be to just try to look into your future and see, where you will be if you continue to drink. I mean, will things get better? Will things get worse? And we know that, keep on drinking and abusing alcohol, and things are bound to get worse. You're going to get sick sooner or later. God forbid, have an automobile accident or something, and you just got to make up your mind and want to change your life for the better. And you're not only changing your own life, you got to think about your family, and if you're married or if you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend or whatever the case may be, you got to think and look at them in the eyes and think of what you're doing to them. You're not spending quality time with them, which was my case. I'd rather stay home when there was an event, stay home and drink because, if there was no alcohol being served, I said, no, I don't want to go. You got to be positive, and you got to want to change your life for the good for you and your people that love you.
That was my experience exactly when I reached this point where I was struggling with alcohol. I was drinking every day, and this was right at the end when I finally surrendered, and I realized it was like you said, I finally could see the future. I finally got a glimpse of my future, and I don't know why it took so long for me to realize that, but it was like I looked ahead and I said, you know what? If I keep drinking every day, I'm never going to be happy. It's not going to change. And
that's right.
I don't know why an alcoholic has to bang their head into the wall over and over again for so many years before I was able to wake up and see that future and say, hey, wait a minute, I'm never going to be happy if I keep doing this.
That's right. You're right. And, as your health fails, and that's why I said I was scared to death for many years to go to a doctor to think of what they were going to tell me. Oh, your liver shot or this, never had blood tests. And, now I went a couple months ago, a complete blood work, and I guess my liver, whatever, if it was wrong with it, it was healed. Everything come back perfect, after all those years of drinking. And believe me when I tell you, I was scared to death to get those results, and they all come back fine.
Wow.
But, you had 4.5 years, or almost 5 years of not a drop of that poison in me, and everything starts to, I guess, heal themselves.
Yeah.
But you have to look at your family. Like I looked at my wife, and I knew they hurt inside too. They want to try to help you. They want to tell you that you're abusing alcohol, and why can't you just have one or two drinks and call it a day? That's not like me. I know for a fact if I touch one drink, I'm doomed.
Yeah.
I'll just go to a wedding. Just have one drink. Oh no. No. I'd rather have my water and coffee, and I'm good.
All right. Okay, one final question for you, Mark. What is one action that a person can take today to improve their sobriety?
Well, one action would be staying positive. Think back of what your life was when you drank and abused alcohol, and then think of your dreams that you have or had that you want to achieve in your life. And by being sober, you can achieve those dreams. And then I don't, like for myself, my dream was to live at the shore where I'm at now. But that that dream never came true because, I had alcohol in front of my dreams. And once I quit drinking, and every week, month, year that passed, things would get better. Now living at the shore, which was my wife and I's dream for 32 years that we've been married. And you just got to, do what's right.
Nice. Well, thank you so much for this interview, Mark. I really appreciate your experience. You're obviously doing well in sobriety, and hopefully your experience will benefit others who listen to this. So thank you so much for coming on the show.
Oh, I thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure and an honor.
Definitely. All right. Well, let me end this, and if anybody finds this interesting, they can come discuss it on the forums at spiritualriver.com. And once again, thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Pat.